Hello everyone, my name is Imperius and welcome back to Eviternity II, map number 9, Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent god, I believe, of Aztec mythology. And in this level we're going to waste no time, we're going to run up, we're going to get the mega armor, we're going to kill this chain gunner because reasons, and then we're going to run around the back, dip in here, get the rocket launcher, which spawns a bit of a trap, jump down here, get the double shotgun, ignore everything, and just try and get up this lift without dying. And if you can do that, you're pretty well set. Because, in my opinion, the hardest part of this level really is the opening. It's a bit of a sandboxy level. There's a couple of different ways you can go. Well, there's three. You go 3 areas, you get 3 switches, you get 3 keys, then you go to the exit. The order you get those keys in is up to you, however. So, I like to come up here first because it is a closed off area, nothing else can come in. And as you can see from the kill count, we're already at 100 kills and I've killed like 5 enemies. Because the guys out there, they are doing work on each other. And why do it yourself? Why do work yourself when you can get other people or monsters to do it for you? So that's exactly what we're doing here, and we're going to just maybe try and bait a little bit of infighting from this window, see if we get some projectiles flying across whilst we carry on with this room. Now, I'm going to kill these imps from here before stepping in that little puddle and getting the plasma gun, because once you do that, it triggers a little Spectre fight. Oh, we've run out of bullets. Some more over here, that's okay. So yeah, so now we're going to get the plasma gun and we're just going to calmly walk around Spectres and regular Pinky Demons as well and just kill things from here. I think this is exactly the same as it is on Ultraviolence. Maybe there's more Pinky Demons. This room in particular, I mean. So pretty much the same, so I just use the same tactics that I did for UV. Now, I did experiment a little bit with trying to stay out the front and sort of killing them from out there, but there's just so many enemies out there, and getting the guns can be tricky if you try and sort of kill everything in order, so I settled on the strategy of just grab the guns and run in here and then let them sort themselves out, which has worked out quite well. So there's another little booby trap in the other room there, but first we're going to come over here, press this conspicuous blue torch, and we're going to get ourselves the large file, and that's going to get us to the soul sphere that you can see every now and then in the top left corner. Just try and bait a bit more infighting. And then just thinking about this, I think I do want to get the soul sphere first, because this little trap can be quite nasty. It spawns like a whole bunch of chain gunners, and it is quite nasty. We can make it a little bit easier on ourselves by killing all of these things first before we pick up the, what is it, a berserk pack in the middle? No, it's just a box of shells. So I can kill these guys, they sort of fade out of those fake walls. And then we go get the soul sphere, get the shells, and then I'm just going to run this way. But be careful not to run too far backwards, because you will activate some astral cacodemons if you do. Or spectral astral cacodemons. We'll find out in a moment. Spectral astral cacodemons. And here again, we'll just sort of stand and try and get a bit of infighting going. Some terrifying screeches there from the astrals, as is their thing. Christ. And then we just sort of clean our way up. And you can see we're already just under a third of the way through the enemies in terms of like raw kill count, and we've done comparatively little. Shit, that scared the crap out of me. That's a sensation you'll only see when you play with a mouse, that just raw, sheer panic of turning a corner and seeing something that's probably going to kill you. And it just sort of scrambles across the screen as you look in all directions to try and find the back pedal button. And this Archvile's behaved pretty well, actually. He hasn't resurrected much at all, which is quite nice. Oh, there's another Astral Cacodemon. I think we're probably far into this this ward now for me to start giving my views on some of these extra enemies, which I've sort of been deliberately holding off because they aren't. They are, what are they? They're kind of like a mix. I have pros and cons, let's say. And I think the Astral Cacodemons themselves, I don't know, I'd give them maybe like a 7 out of 10. In terms of what I feel about them. I really do like the design. I think that the fact that they do multiple speed projectiles is really good. I like the fact they move really fast. And it gives them a sense of an unpredictability, especially, and not just an unpredictability, but a difference between when they're close and when they're far away due to the way that their AI triggers. I think it makes them appear more aggressive the closer they get, which is really nice. The thing that irritates me about them is the fact that when they do close in on you, they're basically impossible to dodge damage because they have a spread of bullets, right? They do the 3 projectiles, the 2 Mancubus ones move really fast. Okay, it doesn't do a lot of damage, but I get frustrated because I feel it's almost unavoidable if they close in on you. And you could say, well, just don't let them close in on you then. And I get that's probably the intended tactic, but that's not always possible. If you just turn a corner and they're there, like, you just get got. So, a mild frustration for me on that point, but I don't think it's a real deal breaker. And you could just say that, well, look, that's your personal preference, and I think I'd be happy with that. I don't think there's anything fundamentally wrong with them, and, you know, I appreciate that I'm probably biased because what faults are there in the original roster of Doom enemies? Well, none, of course. They're all perfect, which, even to say out loud, sounds a little ridiculous. So, you know, biased maybe towards the original ones, maybe a little overly critical of the new ones. But overall, I do quite like the Astral Cacodemons. I find them a little frustrating with their seemingly unavoidable damage at times. But they do have a lot of positives as well. Anyway, that was a ramble tangent, and we can have more ramble tangents as we come across new enemies as we go through the rest of these levels. That's another small thing I will just say about the Astral Cacodemon. I feel like they have too much health. Because, okay, you could say, well, look, they only take 2 double shotguns if you land them properly, but you can never really land your shotgun shells properly on those things because you've got to keep moving and you've got to keep your distance. So a DBS is not the optimal weapon, really, to be fighting those things. Which is why I like the Spectral Astral Cacodemons, because they are really quite difficult, and they're invisible, but they just melt. And so you have that nice trade-off, which is like, it's like, oh shit, but then if you shoot, they're actually usually dead if you've got the DBS equipped at the time. So, yeah. I swear I'm going to stop rambling about enemies now. On to the level itself. So as you can see, we're engaging in some, like, 9,000 IQ play here by shooting a Mancubus through the barriers. That'll just save a little bit of time later, maybe, I guess. Or perhaps it's just satisfying to do now. And really, once we came out of that first area, the goal now is just to clean up whatever didn't die to infighting in the first wave. And then we'll go after one of the other 2 keys. Which, now that I say it, I realise I didn't actually pick up the key, did I, from the first area? So we'll have to go back and get that at some point. Astral Arachnotron. We'll save our breakdown on them for another episode. for now, just continuing to mop up. And you can see there is a blue, not a blue, what's that colour? Purple? You might have just caught that. There was a purple shimmer in the background. There it is again. That is the secret exit, because this level has the secret exit in it, which takes us to the secret level, which is a seriously good level, and I'm very excited to bring you that one next after this. 6 secrets. There is a BFG that we'll get towards the end, and down here is another secret. So we're going to pick up this invisibility and the berserk pack, and then we're just going to stand here and pump some rockets into the stuff that spawns. You could kill all of the stuff with a berserk pack if you wanted to. You could even come here first, but I find if you do, you tend to get overwhelmed by the floaters that are in the level. Cacodines, astral cacodines, and such. So this works out quite well. Pick it up at this stage, and then we just teleport back out to here. You can see the 3 key door in front of us. So now I think we're going to go over this bridge, step a bit forward, kill some of these pinky demons, and then we turn around, and that guy got quite close actually, but the idea is just to shoot rockets. We could have switched to plasma if we needed to, but it wouldn't have been. It didn't turn out to be necessary. Rockets was fine. Ooh. Let's just let that go away. Another rocket launcher here, little booby trap. Some captains. And we can just jump across here to get ourselves some bonuses. Now down this side is where we killed those mancubi earlier. So now they're dead, and it's slightly easier for us to kill them from where we did. Now this area is a little messy because it's quite hard to get these revenants and this baron from these stairs. I think you wake them up if you go too close to the edge in the outside area that we were in earlier. But either way, you've got to kill them. So this works fine, if not a little bit awkward to execute. And when you go out this door here, you want to just be a little careful because there is a sneaky little cyber baron there. That's an Annihilate Me special, I believe. I definitely don't remember that being there on Ultraviolence. And a couple of revenants to clear out on here again. I think this is pretty much the same as Ultraviolence, maybe an extra revenant or 2, but fundamentally it's the same fight. And there's a baron and a revenant behind the thing. Sometimes they infight, which is always nice to watch, but not too difficult to kill by themselves. And there we go. Another double shotgun. Like I say, you can do these areas in any order you like. So they give you the weapons for each area in turn. Like, for example, around this corner, we're going to get another plasma gun, which is nice. Anyway, now we can come down here. We can press that switch. Oh, there's a secret here first. Shoot the skull. That lowers ourselves another soul sphere. And then this switch is what will lower the blue key in the central area. Also, if you come out here, whoops, well I dropped down there, but it's irrelevant because you've got to come back there a little bit later anyway. That's where you get the BFG. Slowly chain gunning several revenants to death with a chain gun. This is peak content, this is. One of my favourite classes in Hexen, if you've ever played Hexen, is the original sorcerer who had an infinite ammo with a little crystal wand. Because it was very efficient to use that to kill enemies, even though it was slow and tedious. So I found that satisfying, and I do find this satisfying as well. I don't need to waste my rockets on my shells, I can just use bullets. Okay, final area then, and first up we get a little Archvile. Pretty sure he's there on Ultraviolence as well. I definitely remember him. And we'll go this way first. We don't need to go this way, this isn't the way to go, but we will loop back here later on, so might as well clear it out now to give ourselves a slightly easier time later on. Anyway, we want to go in here. Now those, I believe, are normal barons on Ultraviolence, so this is a little bit more spicy. And they're infighting. I don't know why those enemies infight. Like, I mean, I know why they infight. It's because the rocket splashes cause them to, but I think that's an interesting design choice that they decided to go down that route. Like, they could have just taken, even if they were doing like a D-hack or something, they could have, oh shit, there's Archviles here. That's new for Annihilate Me. Ah, and they're resurrecting the barons. Yeah, I forgot about that. I did play through this level once before. Like everything is at least one playthrough now, but I did forget that there was an Archvile there. There is one in the water, but there's actually two around here. What was I saying about the Cyber Barons? Oh yeah, they infight. Yeah, because I've seen this trick before where they take the Spider Mastermind's like moveset and the flags that it has attached to it, and then just sort of replace enemies, and that's how you can get sort of explosion immunity onto custom monsters. Like, they could have done that if they wanted to. I'm sure there's even more clever ways to do it than that. So it feels like a very deliberate choice, which is interesting because it's like the only enemy that infights with itself. Another Archvile. These two, I think, are the same as Ultraviolence. I do remember there being. I remember there being at least one here. Maybe there's two is Annihilate Me difference, but there's definitely one in this water area. And there are some imps up in those little reeds. You might not be able to see them on YouTube, but they are there. That lowers later on anyway, so don't worry if you think, oh, we can't kill them, can't see them, because they start to roam around a little bit later on anyway. Ooh, cell pack. Right. Another rocket launcher. Press this switch, and then we're just going to start pumping rockets into here. And they're dead. I think they're also normal barons on Annihilate Me. On Ultraviolence. That one's a normal baron on Ultraviolence. I'm sure of it. I'm sure of it. But overall, there isn't really that much difference in the way this level plays out. Maybe there's a few extra monsters here and there. Maybe a few monsters have been upgraded in terms of their tier. But I found this to be a very similar experience to Ultraviolence as it was on Annihilate Me, with the exception being the opening. When I played this on Ultraviolence, I took the opening very much clear it out, move on, clear it out, move on. I found that to be a little bit overwhelming on Annihilate Me, which is why I went for that strategy of running into the room and going up the lift, which I think works quite well. So yeah, we've got a couple more secrets to grab. And this door is now open. We could have come through this way. The Revenants would have attacked us if we'd done that. Doesn't really make a difference. And then we're going to go into this like little Duke Nukem cavern here. Another Soul Sphere. This level is quite generous with its power-ups. Although some of them are secrets. Some of them are secrets now that I think about it. Secrets, I think, is a very interesting concept, because do you balance around secrets, or do you make secrets like genuinely additive to whatever you've balanced the level to be? I think there's good arguments for either approach, and that's really just an open question as we approach this ambush. I like to use the plasma gun here just because there's a lot of Revenants and I just don't want to piss about trying to shotgun them down. You end up losing too much resource, I think, doing it that way. Put yourself in unnecessary level of risk. So plasma it is, and then we'll use the shotgun just to finish off the stragglers. And that's the yellow switch, which will lower the yellow key. So we can go get 2 out of the 3 keys now. We still need to go back and press the one for the red key, which we forgot about. And there's also another little secret area by the red key that we need to go back and pick up on as well. But yeah, the red key is on that pillar. We should have lowered it earlier. That would have been far more efficient, but we were distracted at the time. I'm also going to come back in here and pick up these bits and pieces, just because I'll forget about them otherwise. And might as well pick them up now. We drop down here, press this purple switch. That will lower the bars to the exit, Exhibit A. And to get to that exit, oh, there's a Soul Sphere on top of that as well. To get to that exit, we need to go back to the area that we were in before, where we lowered the blue key. So I think before we do that, let's just go do this red key, because I keep thinking about it and just not doing it. And there we go. You can see the red key lowering in the distance. And yeah, just one more fight to go. It's the final fight. We're going to have a BFG for it. We're going to be absolutely stacked. It's not going to be difficult at all. Although, we forgot the BFG. The strategy here is just to get out. Let all the floaters come to you. Most of the other enemies will get stuck. I don't think there's any Archviles. I think it's all just a lot of Cacodemons, some Barons and Baron types, a lot of Revenants, and then I think some low tier enemies as well. There's the BFG, you can see it in the top corner there. Or you might have just seen it out of shot. But yeah, this final fight's pretty chill. And there's like at least one other Soul Sphere I can go get if I need to. Plus armor, like this, it's not too bad. The beginning is the hard part of this level, in my opinion and experience. Overall, big fan of this level. Really like it. I generally quite like these sort of sandboxy type levels that you can approach in different manners. I think that makes you think a bit more about the route and what you're going to try and do. And I appreciate the design as well that must go into something like this as opposed to building something that's a bit more linear. I think it shows shows through in the creativity of it. So I really like that. That was a bit of a risky dodge. That was a very risky dodge. What are we doing? It's all falling apart now. Complacency will get you killed. This is the one situation where having a BFG would have been quite handy. Anyway, I think that's it now. What have we got left? One more Revenant here. And then the last 5 enemies, I think, are all by the secret exit. And I forget, they're all Revenants. But we will actually go and get the BFG for that. So, 2 secrets left. One of them is the BFG. What is the other one? What have I missed? Yes. There we go. And then, like before, we go out here, we don't fall off this time, and we work our way around, get the BFG. And then here's the last couple of Revenants. And there we go. All the kills, all the secrets. Map 9 complete. On to map 32, the second secret level. So I hope you very much enjoyed that, and I'll see you in the next one.